Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, I'm continuing my look at the Hammer House of Mystery and Suspense. This was from 1984, transmitted in 1984 to 85. Now, this is episode 8, Mark of the Devil. And well, it's episode 8, but of course, that is not in the particular order that it should be officially. But I'm just following the DVD release, and this is volume 2, so that's how it is. Anyhow, and this is a supernatural tale as well, and that is good because we've not had all supernatural tales in this series. Very good, this is. It's written, of course, by Brian Clemens, who, of course, was famous for The Avengers, 1961-69, which he wrote a lot of episodes. But also, he just continued. He just so many classic TV series he wrote. And, of course, there were some feature films as well. And Soon the Darkness, which I've talked about a lot, from 1970, British film. Absolutely fantastic. Hammer, connection with that. Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. He wrote that, and that is considered, well, one of the great Hammer films as well. The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, 1973. He wrote that. And then another Hammer, which he also directed, was Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter, from 1974. Yeah. There we are. Now, as a director, we've got another name that you should know, or perhaps do know. Val Guest. Val Guest, in this series, also did In Possession and Child's Play. Child's Play, I don't think we've reviewed yet. That will be coming up. But in terms of feature films, wow, what a list of films. Quatermass Experiment, 1955. Quatermass 2, 1957. The Abominable Snowman, 1957. The Camp on Blood Island, 1958. And its brilliant sequel, which I talk about so much. It's not a direct sequel, but it feels like it. And that's Yesterday's Enemy, which is a wonderful Hammer war film. It's so powerful. I highly recommend watching that one. And then there's The Day the Earth Caught Fire, sci-fi, 1961. It's got a real reality feel about that one. It's very good. And then, of course, When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, 1970, directed that. And some other films. I've just popped those out. Right. Now, we've got more interesting locations in this, which again is a feature of these, the locations. We've got Butler's Wharf, which is in Shad Thames, Bermondsey, London. We've got the Manor Elstree in Elstree, which of course very near the studios. That's at Boreham Wood, Hertfordshire. We've got Hendon Hall Hotel, which is in Hendon, London. We've got Wapping High Street, London. So there's quite a few London locations. And then a lot more in Hendon. This all adds again to the general look of these, which is great. The director really brings out the locations. Fantastic. So let's get into the cast. Now, it's edited by an American actor, and this was a feature that they would bring American actors in these roles. And here's one featured. It's Dirk, not Burke. Sorry, no, that's Dirk Benedict. Yes, some might say it was. Yeah, he plays Frank Rolette. Actually, he's a bit of a perk in this. No, but he's known, I think, for the A-Team, which ran from 1983 to 1987, 96 episodes of that. Very popular series. That's that. And then another popular series, Battlestar Galactica, 1978 to 1979. He was in that, yeah. And then it's just lots of TV. Lots of TV movies and series is popping in and out. That's him, yes. Then we've got Jenny Seagrove. She plays Sarah Helston. Films that she was involved in that stand out, Local Hero, yeah, 1983, very popular film. Also, one sort of horror film from 2018 called Peripheral. Yeah, she's still got this career still going on, but she's just a face that was in loads of TV series and TV films. Amazing. And another face that you may recognize, George Sewell. George Sewell, he plays, not unsurprising as he often did, a Detective Inspector Grant. Yes. And I just mentioned before I go into some of his roles, he was in a Doctor Who, of course. He was in Remembrance of the Daleks, 1988. Seventh Doctor's brilliant story. Really considered highly, that story. That's Remembrance of the Daleks, 1988. Sylvester McCoy is the Doctor. Seventh Doctor, yes. Then, his career went back from 1951. Amazing career he had. And just was a familiar face on TV, mixed with some roles in films. It was in a film that we've mentioned before, and which I've reviewed, is Robbery. Stanley Baker film, that one. He's in that. He was in Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, 1969. He did have a science fiction thing, as reflected in his TV series. He was also in the classic Michael Caine film Get Carter, 1971. But as I say, the TV series is just it's amazing. It really is. Then we've got another. All these are familiar faces in TV. Rarely do you see it. Well, here it is. Burt Kwok. He plays Haley or Haley. It's almost like if they wanted somebody to play a Chinese part, it was him. He played the parts, and he's even been in Doctor Who. I loved it. I love the fact that he was in a fifth Doctor story, 4 to Doomsday, 1982. I think that's the second story after the regeneration in Castrovalva, 4 to Doomsday. Yeah. But if we go back over his film career, he just pops up everywhere, really. Yesterday's Enemy, look, there he is. I mentioned that film again, 1959. Another Hammer film, Terror of the Tongs, 1961. A film series that he became familiar with also was in the Pink Panther series. And in 1964, A Shot in the Dark was his first appearance. Goldfinger, he was in that, 1964. He was in The Bride of Fu Manchu, 1966. I love those series, as he was in that. Then I mentioned Pink Panther. He was in The Return of the Pink Panther, 1975. He was in The Pink Panther Strikes Again, 1976. Revenge of the Pink Panther, 1978. and I think he also pops up in the film that we don't mention after Peter Sellers had died. Yes, I mentioned that Pink Panther film, but yeah, and again, and then I say, if you watch TV, he's going to pop up. Yes, he's just amazing actor. Then we've got John Paul. Yeah, John Paul playing Matt Helston. He's the father of Jenny Seagrove's character, Sarah. He goes back to, well, he did go back to 1952, and he was in a Hammer film, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. He was in, that was from 1964, actually. He was in a film I talk about all the time, Cromwell, 1970. Cry Freedom, 1987, the Richard Attenborough film. But he was apparently really well known in terms of Doomwatch, which is a series I've heard a lot about, but I've never actually seen, which is perhaps something I should get around to watching at some time. But yeah, apparently he's very well known for that. Yes. So, what is this about? It starts off, we see like this sort of bit of almost like voodoo supernatural ceremony going on. And we get that. And involved in that is this tattooist. Then it moves on. We see that to this character, the Benedict character, Frank, who is a bit of a loser, really, and he's owing money. He's always up to gambling and all this kind of stuff, getting himself more into debt. And he takes a watch to this tattoo artist who we'd seen at the beginning, and he doesn't give him much money for it because he wants to raise some money so he can go and do another card game. But he sees the tattooist hiding his money, and he gets an opportunity, and he goes and steals the money, but he gets caught, and there's a struggle with him, and he ends up killing him. But in the struggle, he kind of, on his chest, gets like a little, just like a little stab. I think it's the what he uses for his tattooing. Anyhow, so he goes off with the money, gets even more money. And a side thing is with this is that he's got a girlfriend who happens to be a millionaire's daughter. So he's going to marry her and all his problems will be solved. But he's got this money. He takes off these like gangster people coming around getting his money. But of course, he's murdered this tattooist. And the problem, the supernatural side that we see is that this little mark that he got grows. And it's an ink mark, a tattoo. And it's growing and growing. And this tattoo, until it gets bigger and bigger. And on this tattoo, it depicts him murdering the tattooist. Wow, what a story! And it just develops and develops, and it's great right through to the marriage and getting married. And oh, fantastic! It's a wonderful story. It is, absolutely loved it, and yeah, it's just so original. I like the idea. It probably has been done or been influenced by films before. I think there's a film called The Illustrated Man, which is about a tattoo thing, but this is feels like a really good story idea, and it works so well, and I love it, and the acting, everything's really good in it. Yeah, it's really good, really enjoyable, and yeah. And just before I go, here it is. Yeah, there it is. So that's it. Yes. Well, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Then we'll let you know when I put out these videos. You can check previous reviews that I've done of these series as just looking at playlists. Also, if you like this particular video, please give it a like, get it out onto YouTube, and also algorithms and all that stuff. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments. And it all costs note. By heck. By you can't say fairer than that. And that's it. I'm going on a bit too much, so by heck, I better go. I'll see thee again.